You're in a room full of people, noise, laughter, warmth bouncing off the walls. And yet, somehow, you feel completely alone. Not sad, not anxious. Separate. Like there's a thin, invisible wall between you and everything happening around you and nobody else seems to notice it's there, or that you're on the other side of it. You've tried to explain this feeling before. You really have. And the person you told probably nodded and said something like, "Oh yeah, I get that sometimes." In exactly the tone that let you know they didn't. Not really. If any part of that landed somewhere deep inside you, if it pulled at something quiet, then you're in the right place. Because the things you've spent years treating as personality flaws, the things that have made you feel perpetually out of step with the world around you, they are not mistakes. They are not defects. They are simply part of your nature. These are 7 experiences that feel abnormal, and why they are actually the source of everything. Let's start with the one that gets misunderstood the most. After a full day around people, even people you genuinely love, you come home and you're not just tired, you're hollowed out, like something essential has been drained from you, and sleep alone won't refill it. You need solitude with the same urgency that other people need oxygen. This is neurological. Psychologist Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive persons, individuals whose nervous systems process stimulation, more deeply revealed that social interaction costs this population far more cognitive and emotional energy than it does the average person. Later, neuroimaging confirmed it. HSP brains show measurably greater activation in regions tied to awareness, empathy, and deep processing, even at rest. The dinner party that leaves your friend buzzing with energy is running on the same fuel you use just to function. And you've been burning through it all night. Some call this antisocial. Well-meaning people will tell you, you just need to get out more. And the frustrating thing is, you can't fully explain why that advice is exactly backwards, because the explanation is longer than most conversations allow. Solitude isn't pulling away. It's returning to yourself. And the thing is, you can't stay on the surface of anything, including this. Right now, part of your brain is already interrogating what I'm saying, searching for the layer underneath the layer. Someone tells you, that's just how it works, and something inside you treats that as an incomplete sentence. You have earnestly tried to accept things at face value, to let conversations end where other people seem comfortable ending them. But your brain registers surface-level explanations the way a hand registers a locked door. There's something on the other side. You can feel it. This makes you thorough in ways that rarely get acknowledged. And it makes conversations exhausting because you're 3 levels deep into something while the other person closed that mental tab 5 minutes ago and moved on. Being tuned to what's beneath the surface extends to people too. You catch things. The half-second pause before someone says, "I'm fine." The way the energy in a room shifts before anyone says a word that explains why. You've noticed the exact moment someone decided to stop being honest with you mid-conversation. You could feel the shift before they finished the sentence. And you've probably been told by someone who meant it kindly that you're too sensitive, that you overthink everything. The profound irony is, in many of those moments, you were picking up on something completely real about them, something they hadn't yet acknowledged in themselves. This emotional perceptiveness isn't an overactive imagination. It's pattern recognition, cataloging what most people filter out as irrelevant. The exhausting part is feeling it all and being surrounded by people who don't even realize they're broadcasting. Then, something breaks. A real crisis. The kind where others start unraveling, voices get louder, decisions get worse, the room feels like it's contracting, and you go quiet. You're feeling everything, probably more acutely than anyone else. But you've spent so long managing a loud internal world that external chaos lands on familiar ground. You've already lived versions of this inside your own head, so while others react to the emergency, you're somewhere just behind your own eyes processing, and then moving. People are consistently surprised by this. You've been the steadiest presence in situations that demanded it. And afterward, once everyone moved on, you sat down and felt the full weight of what happened in a way no one ever witnessed. Which is partly why small talk feels like its own quiet kind of suffering. This isn't shyness. You can talk for 3 hours straight about the right things, but the ritual of surface conversation, that slow, careful dance of social warmth, with no real destination, something in you checks out immediately. You're not being dismissive. Your brain is simply searching for the actual conversation underneath the social preamble. And when that doesn't exist, there is nothing to hold on to. The people who know you well understand this. One-on-one, you give them everything. In a group of 12, you're pleasant, present, and somewhere far away at the exact same time. That feeling of being far away, even when you're physically right there, that one goes back a long time, doesn't it? You felt slightly outside of things for most of your life. Not excluded. You might have been perfectly included, perfectly liked, but outside in a more precise way. Like everyone else was handed the same basic instruction manual for how to exist socially, and yours was a different edition. Different enough that every room requires a quiet translation before you feel understood. The loneliness in that isn't about lacking connection. It's about the exhaustion of constantly translating yourself for the way you receive the world. And underneath all of it, underneath every single thing on this list, there is this H. The ache that the person you are right now is not the person you're capable of becoming. You sense your own potential the way you sense something in your periphery. It's unmistakably there. But when you turn to face it directly, it shifts. The gap between who you are and who you sense you could be, it keeps you moving on the good days. And on the harder days, it sits at the edge of 2 in the morning with a full catalog of every decision you've ever made. The psychologist Kazimierz Dabrowski called this kind of inner tension a sign of advanced psychological development. The uncomfortable awareness of the distance between your actual self and your possible self isn't dysfunction. It's the experience of someone still in motion. The people who no longer feel that ache stopped feeling it because they stopped looking up. The things that have made your life harder, the sensitivity, the inability to coast through a world that seems perfectly happy, staying shallow, none of those developed by accident. They are some of the most sophisticated ways a human being can function. The glass wall you felt between yourself and other people, it's real. It's not in your head. Or it is in your head, just not in the way that phrase usually means. Some people will never understand what it's like to be inside the way you're inside. So, find the ones who do. One more thing. If you've watched this far, there's a reasonable chance your brain doesn't switch off when the day ends. That the gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't just philosophical. It's showing up in your sleep, your focus, and the low-level static that makes it hard to actually move toward anything. I put together something for exactly that. There's a link in the description and the pinned comment to a bundle I think a lot of you watching this will find genuinely useful. It's a set of 7-day guides built specifically around the things sensitive, deep-thinking people tend to struggle with most. Clearing the mental backlog, rebalancing your dopamine so your brain stops reaching for noise and distraction, getting your sleep working properly, not just reading about why it isn't, and rebuilding your focus day by day in a way that accounts for how you're actually wired. Each guide gives you a daily action, not just information. That's the part most psychology content quietly leaves out. It's all in the pinned comment. I hope you take a look. If something in this video spoke to you, let me know in the comments. I read them and I see you. And if you want more depth like this, subscribe and hit the bell. There's a whole library waiting for you. For now, the next video is already on your screen. I'll meet you there.